Hi everyone, welcome to this video on patch V25.S1.4, so basically the 4th patch of Season 15 in League of Legends. Today we'll be taking an in-depth look at the tank item changes in the upcoming patch. As usual, if you like the content, don't hesitate to like and subscribe, as well as follow my Twitch channel, links in the description. The first nerfed item is going to be Abyssal Mask, which is losing 5 magic resistance, going from 50 to 45. The 5 most impacted champions are going to be Amumu, Rune and Willemp, Bard, Udyr and Zac. Due to the stat changes, the gold efficiency of the item is going below 100% and reaching 97.48%. This means that Riot probably wants to put a bigger emphasis on the passive of the item rather than its stats. As a reminder, Abyssal Mask's passive is Unmake, which causes the enemy team to receive 12% increased magic damage from all sources. The next item to be nerfed is Fimbulwinter. The base shield that the item gives is being changed to no longer scale on the user's level. This means that at every stage of the game, the base shield will be 100 or 180 depending on the number of enemies that are around the user. The most impacted champions are going to be the following: so Taric, Swain, Maokai, Jace, Gragas, Poppy, Ornn and Xante. The base shield nerf ratio is between 0% and 44.44% based on level. What this means is that at level 1, Fimbulwinter isn't nerfed, but at level 18, the item's base shield is nerfed by 44%. And so this nerf ratio also scales on level. However, we need to be thorough and remember that Fimbulwinter's total shield value also scales on current mana, and the scaling is added on top of the base shield value that we had before. So now, based on these new values, we can calculate the total shield value nerf ratio. To do this, I am using the following spreadsheet, which first takes a look at the mana pools per champion. So every champion that I've put here is a champion which builds Fimbulwinter often. I have taken a look at their total mana, which is based on their base mana, the fact that they build Fimbulwinter or not, so in our case this is always true, and whether they build Mana Flow Band or not. So for example, Taric, Maokai, Jace don't often build Mana Flow Band when they go Fimbulwinter, but Swain, Gragas, Poppy often do. So this is important since Mana Flow Band adds 250 to the mana pool of a champion. And so this also depends on the level of the champions. For example, level 13 for these champions, their mana is going to be different than level 18. I'm only going to be considering starting from level 13 since Fimbulwinter is often built second and so is a mid-game oriented item. It's very rare that a champion completes Fimbulwinter before level 13. So at level 13, the average mana pool for all the champions using Fimbulwinter is going to be 1886. At level 18, this is going to be 2129. I will consider the shield values for Fimbulwinter based on more than one enemy around. So this means that before the nerf, the Fimbulwinter shield would have varied between 281 and 434. But after the nerf, the shield value will vary between 180 and 332 at level 13. So this means that the minimum nerf ratio will be 36% and the maximum nerf ratio will be 23%. At level 18, the values will be between 324 and 496 before the nerf, and between 180 and 352 after the nerf. And so the nerf ratios in that case will be between 44% and 29%. So what does this mean? This means that Fimbulwinter's maximum total shield will be nerfed by 20 to 30%, and the minimum total shield will be nerfed by 35 to 45%. So in conclusion, champions with bigger mana pools are going to be less impacted, so this puts a bigger emphasis on taking items such as Frozen Heart or taking Mana Flow Band in your runes. This also means that the lower on mana you are, the smaller the shield, so this is as well visible from the current mana ratio that the shield has, but this also means that the lower on mana you are, the stronger the nerf's impact will be felt. The next item to be nerfed is Heartsteel. So the Colossal Consumption bonus health will be reduced to 8% of damage dealt from 10%. So this means that the bonus health which was gained is taking a big nerf ratio of 20%. So the most impacted champions are going to be health stackers such as Dr. Mundo, Skarner, Tahm-Kench, Sejuani, Cho'Gath, Sion and Shen. It's important to note that this is going to be an exponential nerf. This means that since you're going to gain less health due to Heartsteel, you're going to have less damage on your next proc, and consequently, you're going to gain less health. And this means that this is going to carry on for every proc and every health gained that you're going to have during the game. So this means that during the entire game, Heartsteel is going to be greatly nerfed. The last item to be nerfed is going to be Unending Despair. And so the Anguish base damage is going to be removed. So this means that the Anguish ratio is going to change from 8 to 15 based on level plus 3% bonus health to only taking into account the 3% bonus health of the champion. We can see that this change will impact a lot of champions, so most of the top lane and jungle tanks such as Karner, Sion, Maokai, etc., as well as some outliers such as Diana and Jace, which often build this item as well. I have created another spreadsheet to look at Unending Despair's changes and measure the impact that the nerfs are going to have on the champions that build the item. So I've created the column for the Anguish damage before the nerf, as well as after the nerf, and the nerf ratio as a percentage. The main two parameters are going to be the bonus health of the champion and the level of the champion. It's important to note that the level of the champion will not matter after the nerf, it only matters before the nerf, since the scaling on the item has been changed. So for a champion with 1000 bonus health at level 13, we can see that the nerf ratio will be around 30%, so this means that the item will be dealing 30% less damage, as well as healing for 30% less, since the healing that the item does is based on the damage. At level 18, this nerf ratio will be around 33% as well. So I have added different rows depicting the values for level and bonus health. We can notice that the higher the bonus health of a champion is, the lower the nerf ratio is. So this means that health stackers are going to be less impacted by this change than champions who don't have much bonus health, such as Jace or Diana. The other important thing to notice is that for same values of bonus health, the level also impacts the nerf ratio, and so we can see that a higher level will give you a higher nerf ratio. So this means that late game, Unending Despair is a bit more nerfed than it was in the mid game. All in all, the Anguish damage of Unending Despair, as well as its heal, will be nerfed by around 30 to 10%. And so champions with bigger health pools, as we said, are going to be less impacted, so this is going to nerf some of the less tankier champions that built this item, and the nerf will also impact late game. In conclusion, I'm going to talk about how these changes are going to impact Sion. So two of his core items are going to be nerfed, which are Heartsteel and Unending Despair. So for Sion, Heartsteel is still going to remain better than its Season 14 counterpart, despite the nerf. This is going to be true until around 6000 to 7000 HP. This is the point at which Season 15 Heartsteel is still going to deal more damage than Season 14 version, but it will grant less health due to the nerf which is presented in this patch. Unending Despair is undoubtedly going to suffer a big nerf, but, as we said, Sion is going to be less impacted than other tank champions due to the fact that he's a health stacking tank. And as we said, the bonus health ratio is going to remain on the Anguish passive on Unending Despair, so this means that Sion, compared to other champions, will be less impacted. All in all, Sion is currently the worst performing top laner in Emerald Plus. These changes are not going to help him at all, they're going to nerf him pretty hard, and so it might look like Sion is going to be a bit unplayable next patch. As a result, I'm expecting that some compensation buffs are going to come for Sion and maybe some other champions which are impacted by these changes. Otherwise, Sion is going to be pretty much unplayable, or we're going to have to look for another build. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked the video, I hope you learned something. And yeah, if you did, don't hesitate to leave a like, subscribe, go follow my Twitch channel. And yeah, I'm going to try and put out more of this content whenever there's, Sion related news. So yeah, catch you guys next time. Bye bye.